Oh, morning YouTubers and anybody else. Happy Saturday morning. It's not very nice outside, so nice cup of tea. Insulated mug, keeps it warm. Oh, so I've just got to, I'm aware I've not been getting much on film lately. I seem to be quite prolific for quite a while and it's dried up a bit. There's been a number of reasons for that, as I've explained in previous videos. I'm trying to get my knife making doing a lot more, so I've been knuckling down to that quite a bit. You know, I've been doing a few other bits in the shop, and I'll show you that in a minute. The first thing is the latest finished knife, a knife here. Simon, this is yours, coming your way. I know you've seen pictures. I've had some photos on YouTube, I think, or I don't think I've got it on Instagram yet, but yeah. So you wanted a little skinning knife, so pretty much hopefully I've got the light above enough to have a good look. Better. There we go. Little square bellow, and there we are, a knife. And what he wanted was a little skinner with an anti-handle. So we've got full tang, 3mm or 1, 30-degree bevel, so it's a little bit tougher for what he's wanting it for. And brass pins, black G10 liner, and actually quite a, you know, nice. He's quite a big chap, so you know, he didn't want a half 2/3 handle. He wanted a full handle, and as you can see, if I'm choked up, and I've not got small hands, but obviously tons of control. I'd better do the usual. It's not a great one for doing a sharp test, simply because there's so much belly on it, but you know, basically I can do without even actually having to just cut straight through without doing the curvy bit. Can't do that with it because there's so much belly on it, it just slides out. But anyway, that's pretty sharp. I think that should do you nicely there, Simon. So, yep. So very pleased, and very pleased with my leather work. I mean, it's a fair bit of work been getting put in lately. I've already had a word with my boss about dropping a day a week, so I've got to then keep my fingers crossed. I can just keep turning over and get even just a few knives. That's all I'm wanting to do, really. If I can keep just a bit of stuff going through and a bit of leather work, which I've shown on the other ones, that seems to be going down well. Maybe a few other things I might offer. I'm thinking about just offering things like knife sharpening and stuff like that, which there isn't a huge amount about. So it might just really, what I'm trying to do then is obviously try and just then get to do the things I want to do, but hopefully try and bring enough money in to offset losing a day at work, and then if it works, then I can maybe go to 2 days or whatever, you know, and maybe even break the old 9-to-5 cycle. So that's where that's at. That's where I'm at. I'd like to just show you something. I've had it a few weeks now. Well, yeah, a few weeks, a couple of months. I've got a new grinder, and I'll show you in a moment. And really, I was actually looking at something and trying to set up my little buddy. And then obviously for doing profiling, it really helps when it's on its side, but to do that, it ended up so high, it was really uncomfortable. I was looking at all different ways I could do that. I've got the small wheel attachments for it, and brilliant, you know, the grinder's absolutely brilliant. It's trying to get the setup, so I thought if I lowered the table so when it was on its side so I could profile, it ended up too low, and I was, you know, hunched, I was like this, then my back doesn't like things like that. So I looked at getting I initially started looking at, right, I'll just buy a cheap setup of like a linisher that will go on its side and just set it up and leave it at that. But to get a decent one, I couldn't believe the price. So I thought, well, can I make one? Well, I'm no engineer, I can't weld, and getting the right steel and everything like that. By the time I'd priced up getting the steel, the biggest cost of running a grinder isn't the building of the grinder. Actually, that's quite the cheap cost, and it's the cheap part of buying one. By the time I'd bought all the stuff and then spent hours getting it cut to shape, trying to find somebody and paying somebody to weld it and get all that kind of stuff done, it wasn't worth it. Because the big expense is actually in the motor, getting a good motor, and I don't know what they call them, but I think it's like the controller, so you've got the variable speed. Without the variable speed, you're a bit stuck when you start working on things like your G10, micarta, softer woods, anything like that. If you're running it really fast, it just burns them. and rips the belts up and stuff like that. So it really, you know, I thought it was a bit of hype, but since I got the variable speed with, you know, I bit the bullet and got the variable speed, which was the same reason I ended up buying the little buddy, was by the time I'd taken the price of the I think it's a PID, is it a PID controller or something like that, and then, you know, the price of the motor, getting a good, these are both 1.5 horsepower motors, which, I mean, I know you can get the 3 horsepowers and stuff, which, you know, maybe time goes on if I end up with, but I'm not into making like really big knives or swords or all stuff like that, you know, so, which, you know, some of the guys who do, obviously they've got the big motors and also the big grinders, you know, that go with them. So I just, when I looked down, and I dropped on a sale from one of the main suppliers that brings stuff in to New Zealand, and they had a bit of a sale on, and so it was about $400 or $500 off the price. So I bought the full kit, and I thought by the time I'd done, it was almost like, forget I've got a stand. I'll show you. You know, I got it as what they called it, the deluxe kit. So it actually came with the stand, with the controller, 1.5 horsepower motor, adjustable adjustable stand, 2 different wheels with the platen, and a small wheel attachment which goes on. So there's another small wheel attachment as well with 1/2 inch and 1 inch wheels. To be honest, it just wasn't it wasn't worth me what it was going to cost me trying to make all this setup. And basically, so I mean, what you've got here is, oops, bloody hell, I'm glad I bolted that to the floor. And it is well bolted to the floor, like everything else is bolted down. So if anybody wants to come in and steal anything, I'll have to bloody work at it. But, whoops, my table over there. So this is actually just stuck in the side at the moment. I do use it, but it depends what I'm actually doing. But that actually sits up that in there. Not as easy with one hand. That obviously sits into there and comes up. So you've got your adjustable workbench, and I can also spin this round. So that's a 3 inch wheel and a 2 inch wheel, which I've got on my other. I've actually got that on the attachment for this, for doing different jobs. But being able to turn it on its side like this for profiling, you can actually get right over and see exactly what you're doing rather than bending to the side and doing all. It's made a real difference. And just being able to set this up like this, about being able to get everything nice and square, you know, it has made a real difference both in speed and quality of finish. It was a bit of a pain in the fact that the Noob grinder, which that was the Noob grinder kit, is a 2x48, my other's a 2x72. But the reason I went for that and didn't sort of like think, no, bugger it, I'm going to chump up, and it was a bit of a cost because I've had to set myself up with the belts for that. But again, it's once I've bought them, they're now, and obviously I'm, you know, using both. So I suppose at the end of the day, they last a lot longer because I'm using some on each to do different jobs. But I had a problem, probably partly my own fault. But in December, I got really down. I was up to about my last one, I think, or just put my next to last heavy grinding belt on the 2x72. So I ordered some more, not thinking it's coming up to Christmas. And in New Zealand and Australia and some places, a lot of places shut for a month over Christmas. So I actually ordered them about the 10th of December, and the new belts didn't arrive until the end of January. And at that time, I managed to source an engineering firm who will actually make belts to order. So they make the size, they make the 2x, make the 2x72s and things like that. They were shut as well. But also I couldn't get the ceramics. They did zirconiums and aluminium oxide, but they didn't do ceramics. So the only place I found where I can get 2x72 ceramics took over 6 weeks to get me. Well, it took me nearly 7 weeks because they didn't reopen until the end of January. It took me about 7 weeks to get, so I'd run out of heavy belts. The 2x48, I might not be able to get exactly what I want, but I can get belts from that, including polishing belts, the Scotch-Brite belts, standard belts. I can get ceramics are more difficult, but I can get the heavy zirconiums and things like that from virtually anywhere. I can get them from all over the place. So I just thought, well, it just covers my bets, and I'm less likely to run out. So it's not ideal, but I can't knock it. Noob. You know, put a heavy belt on, crank it up, it takes steel off just as good as a 2x72. It is every bit as good. That 2x48 is every bit as good as the 2x72, and I've got them both side by side, and I use them both for the same jobs. So there's no bullshit. I'm not getting paid. I've bought everything I've got. I've bought the little buddy, and I love them both, you know. But if anybody out there is thinking about getting a grinder, don't be put off by a 2x48. I mean, there's more choice because of knife makers, but if you look at what it is you're actually going to do with it and what you want it for, and the number of belts I use and what I do, I've got to say, with a good motor on it and a good solid base, I certainly do not feel undergunned using the 2x48. I don't. It does everything I want it to. I can do anything on it that I can do with the 2x72. At the end of the day, they're both 2-inch wide belts. So both of them are 2-inch wide belts. One's just longer. So the belts do last a bit longer. They definitely do. Obviously. They last a bit longer than the 2x72. But they're cheaper for the 2x48. So it's a bit of pros and cons. So, you know, if anybody is looking out there and think, God, and they are 2x72, but they're bloody expensive and there's nobody in New Zealand makes them, you have to get them imported and all that kind of stuff, don't be put off by a 2x48. They work exactly the same. Period. So anyway, that's my little chunter. Hope you liked a little look at that. I've got a few other things on the go. I'm trying to sort some blooming workspace out. I'll show you that when I get that sorted. I've been tinkering with my polishers, and also I'm wanting to have a go, and I've been doing a bit of research, getting a bit of electroplating. So rather than stamping my initials onto knives and things like that, I'm going to look at doing the not electroplating, like the electro engraving or whatever it is. And I've been watching quite a few videos, and I've been having a think, because again, I don't want to just throw loads of money at that, because I've just done that. You know, so, but I mean, then again, I did decide, you know, I've made my mind up in December, the end of January it was, that I wanted something, so it took me 5 months. So I spent 5 months virtually waiting to get that, and I've just finished, you know, sorting myself out from that. So next job might be I'm hoping I'm going to get a surface grinder attachment, in the same place, and we'll see where we go from there. So, right, I'm going to sign off with that. I've rambled for long enough. I've just started a YouTube, not a YouTube, this is bloody YouTube, Facebook. I've just started a new Facebook, so I've got 2 Facebook channels running. One is Bushcrafting NZ, I keep putting out there, and nobody seems to be finding it or joining it, or nobody's watching my videos who's in New Zealand who wants to join it. I don't know, but I'll keep trying. And I've just started another one, Custom Knives NZ. And it says quite clearly on there, it's aimed at anybody. You might be a complete beginner at knife making. You might be somebody like me who's on the journey. You might be a really good custom knife maker. You might be just interested in knives and people who make knives. It's open to anybody. What I'm hoping to do is to try and bring that together, because there's nothing in here. What actually gelled me into the idea is watching some of the videos from the UK and the guys on there, and the UK knife show. Oh, there's nothing like that over here. And there's millions of hunters and fishermen and outdoors people. There must be a market for that, even if it's just of an interest here that comes in. But we can't do it if we don't get together. So my idea is to try and get that going, try and get as many people, and then maybe, you know, who knows where it leads. It might just be that a few people can share a stand down at the Seeker Show or at field days or something like that. It might be that, you know, we hire a hall in Auckland and maybe a dozen knife makers get together, or people who have got things to sell to knife makers can sell all that kind of stuff to try and get something going. Because the reality is, over here I can only find, apart from I've got bits of engineering shops for my drills and, you know, grinders and all this kind of stuff, but there's only one, and they're a great company, Game Co. They are great, they are very helpful, they really are, but they're a bit limited in what they do, in the fact that they get everything from Oz. So that, you know, you order something, you need to be ordering it with a 2, 3, 4 week lead time before you're likely to get it. So maybe it might be nice with a bit of competition out there to bring other stuff in, and we'll see where that goes. So that's the whole point of that. So if you any interest at all in knives, whether you want to make them, whether you want to start making them, anything, get on that. It might just link people up, give people ideas. If people know where you can buy stuff from, get the information there. It's just so hard over here in New Zealand to find anything like that. So with that, thank you for listening to my ramble. I hope you like, subscribe, come and have a look at Instagram, Bush Bimbler, Bushcrafting NZ, or Custom Knives NZ on Facebook. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Off for a really sunny, and I'm going to start cracking on now because I've just had a really good clean. It was manky, but I've had a really good clean. So I'm ready to get cracking on something else. So with that, see you later, guys and gals.